All right. To intro our next session, what if I told you there's a gold mine of actionable data hiding in plain sight in your feasibility forms, trial registries, and site systems that could transform how you select sites and accelerate study startup? You'll learn from Shruti from Double Blind Bio in this session. She'll reveal how new intelligence tools are turning this scattered data into game-changing insights that help sites and sponsors make faster, smarter decisions. We'll have time for questions at the end. And with that, I'll give it over to Shruti.
Hi, everyone. I know I'm holding you between, me and happy hour and games, so I'll try to keep this light and fun, show you some slides, and leave time for questions. But thank you so much for sticking around and hearing me talk. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Double Blind Bio. We're an early-stage company that helps sites automate their workflow, focused largely on helping you understand the market and your capabilities. We're a team of 4, so very large, but excited to talk to you all about what we do today. We talk a lot about data in clinical trials, and clinical trials generate enormous amounts of patient data, but it's not just patient data that's really interesting. Amongst all of the work we do from study startup all the way to getting the site started, feasibilities, everything, there's tons of information about the market, about the site, about sponsors, about CROs that isn't being captured anywhere because it's fragmented and unused. And so if you take a look just at the slides I'm showing, the data graphs I'm showing you here are Double Blind Bio's proprietary data that we've amassed over the years. And if you look at this, how many trials have been started in the last 15 years? And this number is just going up and up and up, which makes sense. We're seeing lots of new sites starting as well. And if you look at the therapeutic area landscape, oncology has consistently been a very, very large sponsor indication, followed by neurology as well as cardiovascular. But we're seeing a lot of growth across the board in other therapeutic areas as well. If you looked at this slide 5 years ago, oncology would be there, but the other ones would be significantly lower. So this activity has surged as we're seeing. Trials have more than doubled. Growth spans oncology, neurology, cardiology, metabolism. But our processes that we're using on the sites haven't really kept pace, even though sites have grown. Take an example of the GLP-1 revolution. Again, this is data from our information. Over the last 5 years, we've seen drugs like Ozempic become very large household names. 2025, we've already seen almost 80 trials start in GLP-1s and showing sustained acceleration. The number looks like a dip on this end because we don't have all the information for 2025 yet, but we're seeing 2.4x growth in trials just on the GLP-1 side, and this doesn't even include all the other obesity drugs that are being tried. And what this means, and what's really interesting for sites, and this type of information we help sites act on, is that most of these GLP-1 trials are actually in phase 2 and phase 3. They get validated pretty quickly, and majority of them are actually large trials. And there's a lot of phase 3 trials that outnumber phase 1 consistently, which is unusual for most therapeutic areas. And a lot of these programs are quite advanced, dual and triple agonist and combination therapies to prevent muscle loss and other indications as well. So if you take a look, the number of trials has consistently gone up, but we're seeing a consistent increase in how many of these are phase 2 and phase 3 trials. But the more interesting part that really sites are thinking about is how do you expand your capabilities to compete in the GLP-1 market beyond diabetes and obesity, because trials now extend into new indications. So we've marked a shift from single organ to systemic metabolic health. So obviously you're seeing cardiovascular trials, but we're also seeing a lot of work in MASH and NASH using GLP-1s, kidney disease, as well as early neurological endpoints like addiction. So kidney, liver, MASH, neuro, obesity, and then, of course, the healthy volunteers in phase 1 as well. Again, with something like GLP-1s, we see a lot of big pharma, but the smaller players in biotechs are becoming extremely competitive in this space too. So there's more and more smaller companies trying GLP-1 drugs in their phase 2s. So what does this mean? With the rapid growth and diversification in areas such as GLP-1s, it means access to new patient populations is required, new site capabilities for all types of sites, and opportunities for smaller sites to really capitalize on diverse patient populations. But then it also means there's more complex feasibilities coming through, and manual feasibilities, legacy site lists likely can't scale to this complexity. We need to use the insights that we have about our sites to really be able to own up to figuring out how we work in these trials. So we're small by design. What makes us different is that we use the data depth and quality of the market as well as of sites to help find high signals where sites can help differentiate themselves. We develop our workflows with sponsors and sites to reflect real-world workflows. And we've been AI native from the start. Our agents use LLMs to read, reason, and take action across complex data. We weren't designed for anything but action. Our goal is to help sites act and not hire more folks to have to increase your headcount, but really help you act on data and do more with it. And we've been working with sites as small as independent sites as large as site networks, and we're scalable for any site. So our goal really is to help sites act on your data, the market data and the internal data. We have a form-filling agent, we have a growth agent, as well as a market agent that helps you understand the market for trials. Our goal is to make study startup faster, fairer, more data-driven, and help sites differentiate themselves. Looking forward, we think next-generation pipelines at GLP-1 demand site centricity and with next-generation action. So our goal is to make sites capable of being able to support those actions for every trial and every site. Happy to take any questions. And if I'll be around at the happy hour and happy to chat further one-on-one as well.